This is so wizard, Annie.
This is Beat 'em Down from Cult 45, the movie podcast, and you are listening to the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network.
Broadcasting very fast and very dangerous from the planet Malastare. You are listening to So Wizard.
You're thinking people gonna die?
The only podcast to make the Kessel run in under 12 parsecs.
There'll be no one to stop us this time.
What's going on, everybody? It is time for episode number 307 of the So Wizard podcast. I'm your host, Joey DiCarlo. My co-hosts are the queen of all nerds, Aubrey Litchfield.
Hi.
And the expert, Mr. Marcellus Reagans.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the show.
You are listening to So Wizard Podcast, where three friends discuss the world of nerd, podcasting weekly on the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network. This week, we've got some news, including some new trailers and some big news from the DCEU. And then we've got our review of the movie Satanic Panic. But before we get into all that, how is everyone doing? Marcellus Reagans, how the hell are you?
I'm good. It is a little warm right now. We're starting the first day of summer, and here in Massachusetts, it is hot. It is damn hot. But I'm doing pretty good. Enjoying some ice cream, trying to stay cool, watching horror movies against my will. But it's all good. It's all good.
Awesome. And how about you, Aubrey? What's going on?
Is it like the legitimate first day of summer? Because it's been hot as balls in Virginia for like a couple weeks now.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday as we record this.
Dude, it's like 90 degrees in Virginia for the past couple of weeks. It's been miserable because the humidity is high too. So it's like you just go around sweating all the time. But I'm living. I am living.
Awesome.
Well, how are you doing, Joey?
I'm fine. I've just been working, sleeping. Today, I had to go run errands for the family, so I went grocery shopping at Walmart. And then I had to go grocery shopping at Big Y, which I'm sure I've explained before on the show, but if you don't live in the Northeast, that's a big supermarket up around where we live, because I had to get things that I couldn't get at Walmart. And then I came home and dropped the groceries off, and I went to, there's a local farm probably about like 4 or 5 miles from our house, and they have farm fresh strawberries. So I grabbed a couple things of those, and then I was done. Then I came home and sat down finally.
I used to love going to South Hadley to all of the farms to get all their farm fresh stuff. It's like my favorite thing.
I have to buy 2 things of strawberries, because I'll usually eat half of one on the way home from the farm. They're so goddamn good. And their store there is like, they have an apple orchard too. And so it's like they're making like cider donuts, apple cider donuts and all sorts of stuff in the bakery that's attached to this fucking store. So you just walk in there and the smell just hits you and you're like, fuck, I'm ready to eat anything. Like, I don't even care what they put on the fucking counter. I'm ready to eat.
You like float in like a cartoon character, like feet above the ground.
Josh's
Seriously.
favorite thing is to get apple cider donuts from some of the farms here around Halloween. And I keep trying to tell him, I'm like, man, we just got to take a trip up to Massachusetts like during that time. And then you will never want any other apple cider donuts ever.
Seriously. Big ups to Atkins Farms. Yeah.
Sorry, Aubrey, I'll mail you some donuts this Halloween.
I appreciate that.
Crazy. All right. Well, and I guess that's enough about us. Let's talk about us. Marcellus, why don't you tell the listeners where they can find more So Wizard podcasts?
All right, so everybody can go to SoulWizardPodcast.com, where you will find new episodes every week. You'll find movie reviews occasionally from yours truly. You'll find Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu streaming picks from our buddy, the awesome Adam Mollyhawk. A great way to support our show is by doing your Amazon shopping through the link that we keep right on that website. You click on the logo, you do your shopping, you receive your products, and that way you'll be helping out our tiny little show. It's a great way to support the show. I do it all the time. You can also find our social media links there. We have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, so definitely get at us online. You can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review while you're there. You can also find us on a Stitcher Radio app for your tablet or smartphone, Podbean, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and YouTube. We have a Patreon page, patreon.com/SoWizardPodcast, where you can support the show monthly and receive bonus content from everyone here at the show. Shout out to all of our podcasting buddies over in the Geek World All-Stars Podcast and Network. Back to you, Joey.
I like the view.
You do?
Yes.
You're my best view.
All right, we've got some news this week. We finally have some news. Marcellus, hit it up. Let's do it.
Yo, pump it up. It's time for the news. Yo, we getting ready to bring you the news, boy.
All right, so this week in nerdy news, we had a couple of trailers drop. The first one is another trailer of a movie that we talked about before on the show. We got another look at it. It is part 3, but it's a prequel to the Kingsman trilogy. Kingsman, Matthew Vaughn's comic book turned action movie franchise, is coming out with another story. This one is a prequel showing the beginning of the Kingsman. We saw another trailer before, but this one has a little bit more footage, and it gives you a better sense of the type of humor that's going to be in it. I love the first Kingsman movie. I was not that big of a fan of the second one, but this one actually looks pretty good. I'm actually really intrigued to see this one. The setup is pretty cool, and it looks like Matthew Vaughn is having a good time doing it. So, yeah, I'm psyched for this. What do you guys think of this new footage of Kingsman? Let's start with Joey.
All right. Well, first of all, I feel like this movie already came out. Doesn't it feel like this movie already should have came out?
Like a year ago? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, I know it was already supposed to have come out, and because of coronavirus, it didn't. But man, I feel like the last time we talked about this trailer feels like 5 years ago. But yeah, I mean, it looks cool. I agree with Mark. I didn't like the second one as much as the first one, not even close. I do love that first Kingsman movie. It was great. And, you know, I mean, let's see where they go with it. They can't fuck it up worse than the second one, really. Even though I liked the second one, I didn't love it. I guess maybe my expectations were like, this is going to be like a 4.5, 5 out of 5, like the first one. And I got like a 2.5 out of 5s. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, oh, this sucks. Even though it's not like, we're not talking about like the second one, like it's fucking like Fartimus Fowl or something. You know, nobody was eating dirt and shitting it out. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I'm interested to see where it goes. I generally don't like prequels because any character that's in it that is going to be in the next movie, in theory, obviously it's the third movie could come out, but the characters will probably be in part 1. Like, you know, nothing's going to happen to them. So It's like Solo, a Star Wars story. Nothing's going to happen to Han Solo or Chewbacca. So there's not really very high stakes. That's all I'm saying. But we'll see. It looks cool. It does look cool. It's interesting to see Rasputin in there and some return of cool kung fu action. So I just give it about a 3 out of 5 on the Colt 45 give a fucking meter.
All right, Aubrey. What about you? What did you think of this new footage for Kingsman?
It looked like it had Liam Neeson in it, which is pretty cool. Other than that, I really don't care about it.
I hate to disappoint you, Aubrey. I don't think Liam Neeson is in this movie.
It looked like him.
What do you mean, the bad guy, Rasputin?
No.
The main guy, the hero, Ray Fiennes, Voldemort?
Was it Voldemort? I
Yes.
don't know. It looked like Liam Neeson.
Understandable. Understandable. So, did you like the other ones?
I care even less now.
Oh, jeez. Did you like the other ones, the other Kingsman movies?
They were okay. I mean, they're interesting. They are really interesting. It's just, I don't know. It feels a little bit too actiony for me, and not enough story. Maybe this one will be a little bit different, but it just feels like it leans a little bit too much in one direction.
Gotcha.
So you're thinking that you don't want to see it?
I mean, it may actually be pretty good because it has like medieval stuff in it, like Rasputin's in it, so that's kind of cool. But I know I'm gonna have to see it.
Well, you know what, Aubrey?
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
We're watching it. September 18th it comes out, so hopefully the theaters will be open and safe at that point. But that's the date that we got, September 18th.
Right. What do you give it on the Colt 45 give a fuck a meter, Aubrey?
Maybe like a 2.5.
What about you, Mark Ellis?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3.5 because as cool as it looks, the second one had a really cool trailer too. So we'll see.
All right, that makes sense.
All right, so now everybody buckle up because
We have to go back!
Oh, no.
we are heading back to the world that we love, he says. The DCEU, just when you thought it was safe to go back, just when you thought that they were getting their shit together, Zack Snyder is doing the Justice League Snyder Cut. I know we talked about that before. But he released some footage, and it's not the footage that's already been leaked with Cyclops and with Flash. This is something totally different.
Cyclops?
Cyclops?
Who's Cyclops?
Oh, Cyborg. The dude with one red eye. That's not Cyclops?
Yeah, right.
With Cyborg and the Flash.
Who's in Teen Titans with Wolverine?
So we got we got some more footage of our Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot.
Kal-El, no.
Staring up at a picture of Darkseid, or as my buddy Brandon Routh likes to call him, Darkseid. He said that at a comic book convention, and I'm like, how are you Superman? How are you playing Superman? But it gives a little bit more, like a little taste of what Zack Snyder has in place for the Snyder Cut. A little bit more of the bigger story, some of his overarching themes that he was going to lay out. I don't know. Like I said, I've already seen all the other scenes with Cyclops. Cyborg. And and the Flash. So I feel like I've already seen like bonus scenes. I already have a pretty good idea of what the story is going to be. But I don't know. It's nice to see Gal Gadot a little bit more. But what did you guys think of this footage for the Snyder Cut? Let's start with Aubrey.
I'm still excited to see everything. I think that it's going to be... I feel like it's going to put story in the places that it was missing. And so for me, this is really exciting. I'm going to hold judgment until I see it. So.
Okay. All right. Joey, what did you think of that design of Darkseid?
Looks fine. Looks like Darkseid. I don't know how much he's going to be in the movie. I mean, I don't think they're filming any new footage, so unless he's going to be all CG or it's just visions. It does match up with a lot of the things I've read for quote-unquote spoilers for what the stuff that they're going to be putting back in is. Yeah. But I'm like concerned, like they're supposed to be making, this is just the one Justice League movie, so why are we starting to put threads in that are supposed to carry over to what was going to be Justice League Part 2? When there isn't going to be one? Like,
well, who's to say there's not going to be one? Maybe this one will do so well that people will be like, release the Justice League Snyder Cut Part 2. And then Warner Brothers will be like, all right, well, we already spent $40 million into this thing. What's another $250 million?
I don't know. I don't know what they're expecting from this one. So, yeah, I don't know.
All right, yeah, we'll see. This is an interesting time in movie geekdom, comic book movie timeline. It'd be nice to see what they do. If this movie is like really good and it blows people away, who knows? Maybe there is a sequel in the pipeline, or maybe they can use some of those threads that are laid out in this one, and they can tie it up with actually our next story, the Flashpoint movie that's coming out. That I honestly don't think we're ever going to see, but apparently the Flashpoint movie is still a go. Ezra Miller has not been fired from it yet, and the story is that Michael Keaton is being coaxed back in to play Batman once again in this Flashpoint story. Now, like I said, I don't think this Flashpoint movie is ever going to happen, but if it does, and we do get Michael Keaton back, the only way I'm going to accept this is if it starts with him and Michelle Pfeiffer sipping tea in a cafe in Paris. That's all I want. If it starts with that, then you can do whatever you want. But if I don't have that, then I don't want any of it at all. But that's just me. What do you think of Michael Keaton coming back as Batman, Joey?
So there's a lot of pieces to this. I guess it was originally, this role was supposed to be, what's the actor's name that plays Negan?
Jerry Dean.
Yeah, Jeffrey
Dean Morgan.
Morgan, there you go. Oh God, wow, this is an embarrassing episode of So Wizard. It was supposed to be him as Thomas Wayne in this role. Now it's going to be Michael Keaton instead. So allegedly, the Flash is going to go back in time, save his mom from getting killed, which is, what sets off Flashpoint, which then somehow resets reality so that Batman 1989 happened, and Michael Keaton has been as Batman for the last 30 years, helping heroes along and shepherding them through this new reality with him kind of as a Nick Fury type figure that they want to use to connect all the movies together. So I don't know. I'll see what it is. I mean, I remember getting all hyped for all these cameos and things in the CW Crisis, and a lot of them ended up just being 30-second things that did nothing. So, I mean, we'll see what they're actually going to do with them. If he's going to have a meaty role or not, or this is Michael Keaton's like private school ain't cheap tour. So, I mean, we'll see. But I mean, I'd be excited, especially if it's going to lead to maybe a Batman Beyond movie a little ways down the road. So
that's what I was thinking. They must be planting the seeds for that Batman Beyond live action movie that they've been threatening for the past 10 years. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. All right, Aubrey, what about you? What do you feel about Michael Keaton coming back as older Bruce, or just as Batman, older Batman?
I like Michael Keaton. I like Michael Keaton Batman. I don't think that Flashpoint's going to be a good movie, so I'm not really excited about that piece of it, but I'm excited about the Michael Keaton aspect of it.
Yeah, Flashpoint is never going to happen. So, we're talking about this in like an alternate universe. In an alternate universe, we'd be talking about Wonder Woman right now, seeing it on a big screen. So, yeah, I won't believe Flashpoint is going to happen until I'm sitting in the theater, popcorn in hand, ready to watch it.
It seems like if they're going through this lengths to get Keaton involved, then maybe they're going to go a little further along with it. It's actually going to happen this time.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you would think so. Or it's just going to debut
It'll still be trash.
It'll just debut on HBO Max. That'd be just be a miniseries. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed. I wouldn't mind seeing Michael Keaton back to finish up what he started in Batman. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I got for the news.
All right, well, we'll take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and get our review of 2019's Satanic Panic on the table.
Obsessed with UFOs and extraterrestrials?
Convinced there's a chupacabra in your backyard?
Is your doppelganger ruining your life?
Do you love all things haunting related?
If you answered yes to any,
or none of these,
then these are the mostly sensical, slightly drunken ramblings for you? Question mark? I'm Emily.
And I'm Joel. And we're the hosts of Drink Drunk Dead. Join us,
our two cats, Emma and Otto, and our house ghost,
every week as we have a few drinks, discuss all things paranormal,
and raise a toast to our ghosts.
And we are back. All right, guys. So we're going to review this movie. It was a direct-to-video / streaming / the streaming service Shudder. And this is 2019's Satanic Panic, starring Rebecca Romaine Stamos. And I don't think she's Rebecca Romaine Stamos anymore, is she?
No, she's like Rebecca Romaine O'Connell.
Okay. And Jerry O'Connell, among others. So we all had a chance to watch it. Aubrey, you love horror movies. It's well documented on the show.
Yeah.
What did you think? No spoilers yet, but what did you think of Satanic Panic?
There were parts that were definitely extremely disgusting and hard to watch.
Make me feel bad. I watched it and was like, yeah, Aubrey can handle this.
It was just a couple of parts that were like really a little bit too difficult to watch, but the rest of it was okay.
All right. Mark Ellis, how about you?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it was in focus.
The long pause is the scary thing.
It was in focus and in color, so I'll give it that.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was an hour and a half. So yeah, I'll give it that.
Really?
Yup.
All right. Well, I watched it as well, and I really liked it.
Oh my god.
It's not great by any stretch of the imagination, but it was enjoyable, right? No.
Parts of it, yes.
I mean, I wasn't like, oh my god, this is amazing, but I'll probably never watch it again.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's fine. But all right, I guess there's only one way to talk about this, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it. So we'll jump into spoilers, and we'll find out what the hell these guys didn't like about Satanic Panic.
Spoiler alert! I had seen the future, and I had to prevent it.
All right, Mark Ellis, why don't we start with things you liked? Was there anything that you liked about this movie?
All right, so things I liked about it. I liked the main actress, the girl that played Sam, one of the Sams. I thought she was actually pretty good. I liked that it was in focus. Does that count?
You already said that.
I like some of the aspects of it. I like the girl who realized that she was being attacked like by a voodoo doll in a way, and that she was smart enough to fight back. That part I thought was really cool. It was nice to see someone on the other side of that, someone using that knowledge to fight back something that's going after them. That aspect I thought was cool. I like the main actress. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh boy. All right, Aubrey. It doesn't sound like there was much that you liked about this movie.
I didn't like the main actress. Well, I should say it more so I didn't like her lines. She was a good actress, but I felt like the story writing was kind of failing in that aspect. The whole idea behind her was kind of stupid. Like her backstory was fantastic. I like that she had cancer and everything like that. But
you didn't like the movie so much you liked that she had cancer?
No, I mean, like, I liked that part of the story. I did like that she had complexity to her, and that there's an actual, like, good backstory to her. She went through this big struggle and had this relationship, and there's some trauma there. I do like that. I think that adds a really nice detail to her. I'll get into the parts that I didn't like about her later.
Okay.
But I did like the daughter. I thought that she was great, and she was knowledgeable. Rebecca Romijn is fantastic. Jerry O'Connell had a really weird character, but he did a really convincing job at playing him, which is really kind of scary all on its own. The whole story is kind of cool in a way. Yeah, the direction was good. That's all I got.
All right. Well, that was definitely more than Mark had, so that's okay.
She pretty much said the exact same thing that I did.
It just sounded nicer. Okay, it sounded nicer to Satanic Panic. All right, so I have been chomping at the bit to watch this movie, and since we've been looking for movies to watch that are newer and like streaming picks, basically, I threw it out there for us to watch because I wanted to see it, and it's supposed to have a vibe kind of like Tucker and Dale versus Evil or Ready or Not. Mm-hmm. Not like a flat out horror movie, but not a comedy, but kind of somewhere in between. And I thought I liked those kind of movies. So, I thought that was great. The main actress, Haley Griffith, is a cutie patootie. So I immediately followed her on Instagram after watching the movie. And I thought she was good in the movie. I thought Rebecca Romijn was good in the movie. I loved a lot of the practical effects, and the humor of it was pretty good. It's not great, though. That's the thing. I keep just come back to it. I didn't hate this movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not great. There's things that keep it from not being great. And I guess we should probably get into that. So, Aubrey, what were some things you didn't like about this movie?
I didn't like the writing for the girl. Like, who goes into a house looking for tips? You just break into somebody's house and you expect them to give you tips and not get in trouble? That whole part seemed really stupid to me.
Well, her scooter ran out of gas. So.
Yeah, but nobody in their right mind's just going to break in somebody's house because their scooter runs out of gas. That part just seemed like I feel like they could have done better about that. I felt like the whole thing was kind of all over the place in some aspects. Like I didn't really like Gypsy. I feel like there's more to. I feel like there's some backstories I really wanted to hear, like the things that they had done to their children. Like there's that picture of, is it Gypsy or the other one? I think it's Gypsy, where they have like 2 kids and then all of a sudden they only have 1. Like, what happened there? So, like, I feel like there's some backstories that they could have added in that would have made this story really kind of like next level for me. But because they omitted them, it kind of felt a little flat.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, Marcellus, what about you?
I will like to say that the first note of my notes is Pizza Girl is a cutie. That's right on the top.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah. So I did not watch any previews for this movie at all. I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't sure if it was a comedy or like a serious satanic possession movie or anything like that. And you know what really did hurt this movie was Ready or Not. Like watching that and seeing how good it was and seeing how everything is handled, it just makes this movie looks like child's play. It just looks garbage. So yeah, because I didn't do any research on the movie, I didn't know it was one of those really dumb horror movies that you can't put logic to. Because I immediately put logic to it. Like Aubrey said, why would anyone, if your scooter breaks down, why would you break and enter someone's house to get money? That doesn't make sense. And I'm thinking, oh, that sucks. She's like stuck in the middle of nowhere. Man, it's too bad she doesn't have a cell phone to like call for a ride or call her friends or anything like that. And then 30 minutes into the movie, she pulls out a cell phone. I'm like, what the fuck? Why didn't you use that before? She goes into the house to ask these strangers for gas money. Oh, if everyone drops a quarter, that'd be enough to get me out of here or whatever. And she's there as Rebecca Romaine O'Connell is delivering her speech. And she says right there, we are going to bring Satan into this world. And I'm like, she heard that, right? She's standing right there. Like you're there in the room. You heard her say that they're worshiping Satan. Why does the bells just not immediately go off in your head? So that once that happened, I'm like, all right, I'm out of this movie. It took me right out. And then it was just dumb things after dumb things that happened after that. The girls with the drill penis thing, like what? It's ridiculous, but why?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any kind of sense, even in a horror movie. And like, who ordered 5 pizzas? Like, why did they need 5 pizzas for this person to show up there? So many things like that like didn't make sense. And I understand it's a stupid horror movie and it's not supposed to. You're just supposed to enjoy the ridiculous nature of it. But even a comedy wasn't funny at all. Like Gypsy, I did not think she was funny at all. None of the jokes landed for me at all. The only thing that I think they really got right was I can't base this on anything, but they spent a lot of time with the satanic rituals, like the signs and the Rebecca Romaine has like this huge like 20-minute monologue of all of this gibberish bringing up Satan. And I'm like, man, they're spending a lot of time and effort to show you that they're about to bring Satan into this world. And I started to question, like, is this movie like The Ring? Like, if I watch this movie all the way through, like, is Satan going to appear? Because it seemed pretty accurate. You know what I mean? Like, it seemed like they spent a lot of time getting that part right and not enough on the jokes. So, yeah, I couldn't wait for the movie to be over. And then when it got to the end, I'm like, oh, that's dumb. And then the credits started rolling. I'm like, thank God.
Oh, man, you guys are making me feel really bad for picking this. Well, I will echo a lot of what you guys said. I somewhere in here is a really awesome movie
Yep, it's called Ready or Not.
Well, not just that, but I think like this is a cool idea for a movie. I love the style of the movie where it's, you know, supposed to be like not a scary horror movie, but not like a comedy, but kind of in between. I like those kind of movies, like we said, Ready or Not or Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Yep. So obviously when they're done right, they're fantastic. Like Evil Dead 2, you know, that style, it's great. They didn't nail it at all. It's like they shot the arrow at the bullseye and missed the whole wall.
Yep.
Because a lot of the jokes, like you said, a lot of the jokes just fall flat, and it's not funny. It's just like painful to watch, like how unfunny it is. And like you said as well, Mark and Aubrey, like the script doesn't quite make sense. Like, why would she go into the house? Why didn't she use her cell phone? You know, why? Blah, like over and over. You keep asking why. And I understand it's supposed to be goofy, but it's not good enough to overcome. It's not keeping you entertained enough to not have your mind wander to why are we not doing this?
Exactly.
So, you know, I liked when the like towel person attacked them. I thought that was kind of cool.
The bed sheet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bed sheet.
But it was weird because it was like it attacked them. Somehow they knew that it was in that house, but then they didn't actually know where they were and find out where they were until later on in the movie. I know, I just ruined that for you.
Yeah.
Maybe that she just likes to attack people in general. Maybe it's just a naughty room.
I did like the little girl was like Satan at the end. Like,
yeah, I thought that was pretty funny because when you when it gets to the point at the end where they have the girls tied up and a big satanic ritual is happening, and they're like, she's a virgin, so she's gonna give birth to this, you know, evil god, and you see her like ready to pop, like pregnant, ready to pop. I'm like, holy shit, they're actually gonna do it. They're actually going to end this movie with her giving birth to Satan, and credits are going to roll. So when it does that quick cut to the little girl, that I thought was pretty funny.
But that's about it for what's funny. So, yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like the movie, the people that made this movie had great ideas, but they should have given these ideas to other people to make the movie. That's kind of how I feel about this movie. I feel disappointed. I was really excited to watch it, and I wanted it to be really good, and I tried to convince myself it was better than I thought it was. And, you know, like I said, it's not horrible, but it's not great. And I mean, I really wish they could have knocked this out of the park, but they just didn't. So that's it. That's all I got. Aubrey, the gore was not too much for you, or it was?
Oh, yes. I forgot. I was going to talk about that. The only thing that was bad was like when they were reaching into people's bodies and like taking stuff out. Like her taking the organs out was nauseating. And her reaching in like Jerry O'Connell's neck. Oh my God. That was, my stomach turned and I had to look away because that was really tough. But other than that, it wasn't bad. It was like those two particular scenes is where I felt my stomach turn inside out.
When she was pulling the hair out of her mouth was really gross.
So yeah, I wasn't as bothered by that, and I wasn't as bothered like when she had the voodoo and everything going on. Like even the pins coming out of her fingers didn't bother me. It was really like the reaching into his throat and stuff that was. Whew.
Mm-hmm. Her vomiting all over the place. That's what did it for me. I was like, I'm good with that.
I think I was okay with that just because I've watched Harry Potter and I watched Ron puke up all those slugs that time. So like her puking up worms wasn't too bad. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like people fishing and people, I can't handle it.
What about you, Marcellus? Anything gore-wise or special effects-wise that you didn't like?
You know, the vomit I didn't like, and her and the guy that showed up at the house like ready to do coke, and then pulling out his intestines out of his mouth. That was pretty gruesome. I thought the scene where they took Jerry O'Connell's soul, quote unquote soul, and baked it at 350 degrees for 20 minutes.
Oh God, that one too.
Like, I thought that one was going to be a little bit more disgusting, but it's clearly, like, when you see it, it's clearly just guys with money who wanted to make a nice practical special effects, just having fun. You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was going to be like really disgusting. So I was like getting ready for it, and then it happened. I'm like, oh, okay, that's not too bad.
I could not watch her cut into it. That was nauseating too.
All right. Well, man, I'm sorry, guys. I thought I was picking a winner, but
hey, with Capone and Artemis Fowl is just par for the course at this point.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you guys: where does this rank compared to some of the other bad movies you've seen this year? Is it worse than Artemis Fowl or Capone, Aubrey?
No, I don't think so.
Marcellus?
No, the Pizza Girl saves it.
Right. Yeah, shout out to Pizza Girl, because there's no way even close it's worse than either of those two movies. So let's get a score. Let's get a score out of 5. 0 being the best. 0 being the worst. 5 being the best. Aubrey, what did you think of Satanic Panic?
I'm going to give it a 2, because it wasn't horrible. It just wasn't what I wanted at all. I feel like it could have been so much better.
You didn't watch Ready or Not, did you?
No.
Oh, you really should. You really should. You would be able to handle it no problem, and it's light years better than this movie. Marcellus, what about you?
Yeah, I give it a 1 out of 5.
Whoa!
Yeah,
you're an easy grader too.
I know, and I really wanted to find something to like in this movie besides the Pizza Girl. I did like her punching a little kid in the face. That I thought was pretty cool. But it didn't go like it wasn't ballsy enough to be like, oh my God, this is cool. Like The Hunt. And it wasn't like funny enough. That's the other movie that kind of ruins this. The Hunt. It's a movie that's gory and funny, but intelligent. This one just didn't have the intelligence. So yeah. And if I didn't see Ready or Not or The Hunt, this would probably be probably give it the Bloodshot 3 out of 5, but I'm going to give it a 1 out of 5.
Wow, Bloodshot remains safe as Mark's #1 movie of 2020. All right. I'm going to go for a 2.5 out of 5. I think the things I like about it, I like. It's just not good enough. You know what I mean? Like, I keep coming back to that. Like, I was really expecting this to be funny and to be really like kick ass and fun, and maybe I'm just holding it to the high standards. Like, I rented, Journey Beyond the Stars, and I'm expecting A New Hope, but like, I don't think like having a low budget holds it back. Like, I don't think anything about that, and the practical effects are fine. It's just not good enough. Like, the people behind this really should have had someone else make it and just been like, here's our cool ideas, and back away and let somebody else make the movie, because it's a cool idea. It just isn't executed well enough. But, like we said, the main actress is great, and she's very attractive. Rebecca Romijn is giving it her all. Mm-hmm. So there are some things there to like, but it's just honestly, in retrospect, I don't think I would watch this again. I don't really want to suggest anyone should go out of their way to check it out unless you were really bored and sitting in front of your TV. So that's for me, 2.5 out of 5. And that's going to do it for that movie. Throw that one away. We're moving on to finish this show up and get some recommendations for the listeners out there. Aubrey, what do you got?
I actually just saw a rumor that a Harry Potter RPG, open world RPG game is it's rumored. It's been rumored before, but now an actual insider has confirmed it, and there will be a release soon. So I recommend everybody watch the news, because hopefully that will be coming out soon.
Awesome. And what about you, Marcellus?
Yeah, I want to say a quick RIP to Ian Holm, who played Bilbo in the Lord of the Rings movie, and The Hobbit, and also in Alien, in the first Alien movie, is the android. And a quick RIP to Joel Schumacher. I know immediately everyone goes to Batman, Batman and Robin, but he actually did some other good movies too. Time to Kill, Falling Down, Flatliners I actually liked a lot. So my recommendation is to check out Alien and check out a Joel Schumacher movie, not Batman and Robin. Even Batman Forever.
Falling Down is amazing. So I probably would pick that one or The Lost Boys. So.
Oh, yeah. Lost Boys is another classic.
Yep. All right. Well, I will suggest that you go to SoWizardPodcast.com, where you can find the podcast every week, Links to all our social media accounts on the right-hand side of the page. Movie reviews, streaming picks, so much more. SoWizardPodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or just about anywhere under the sun that you find your favorite podcast. We will be there. Check out our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, search So Wizard Podcast. There's hours of free exclusive content there. Adam's been uploading streaming picks weekly, and interviews are coming. Plus, if you miss going outside, there's hours of content from New York Comic-Con and Rhode Island Comic-Con from last year to check out. So go to YouTube and search So Wizard Podcast. You'll find all that there. You can support us on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/So Wizard Podcast. Get extra exclusive episodes of the show when you support us monetarily. This month is our review of The Five Bloods from Netflix. I will also be releasing my solo episode. I'll be talking about the Beastie Boys story from Apple Plus, and if I can finish it, Blood Quantum from Shudder. And next month, I believe we're going to talk about the Watchmen TV series on Patreon. So get yourself subscribed and support us and check it out. I will recommend that I don't really have a recommendation. I have not been doing much. Maybe if you want to go play The Last of Us 2 and let us know what you think. I have read the spoilers, so I will be skipping it, but maybe you'll like it. Maybe you're in for crushing depression and ultra violence. So, check it out. Last of Us 2 is now on PlayStation 4. And maybe you want to go online, your streaming service, and check out the movie VFW, because that, my friends, is what we'll be talking about next week on the podcast. But that's going to do it for episode number 307. I've been your host, Joey DiCarlo. My co-hosts are the queen of all nerds, Aubrey Litchfield.
I'm still here.
And the expert, Mr. Marquis Markellos Reagans.
Everybody stay cool and have a good week. Wakanda forever.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week for a trip to the VFW. Good journey.